Hello, everybody. It is Naomi, food and health coach. How are y'all doing? I was literally sitting here staring at my phone because I have like 15 topics I want to talk about. And I was like, which one should I even start with? But I have to say, I'll mention some of the topics. They are about the quality of food, and food that's really perceived as healthy, but they really cause havoc in our bodies. It's about being in maintenance mode or how to create maintenance. We never think about that when it comes to our health or that being the next level that we have to learn. And the third one was about putting up limiting beliefs when we are very scared of trying something new or trying something again, because we already have thoughts about where we ended up in the past when we've tried that before. So let's say, for example, weight loss. You've tried it 1,000 times and it never seems to quite work out for you. So you might be hesitant to try and approach weight loss again because you might have a lot of limiting beliefs that won't let you move on with the process. Like, it has never worked for me. I've tried so many things in the past and nothing has ever happened. It's never stayed off, like all these things. But I think I'm going to start with number one, the first one I mentioned, which is the quality of food, right? The quality and the intention of food. And this topic got triggered because I saw this reel on Instagram where this other health person was comparing fresh pasture raised eggs to just eggs, this vegan version of eggs that's made of like beans and a ton of other chemical ingredients, right? And I just want to mention how important it is for you to be curious about food, the quality of it, and what's the intention behind it. So, as I've mentioned in the past, the food industry is really good at marketing. The food industry is really good at researching humans to see what their taste buds are like, their psychology, and they'll come up with things that match the current trends of whatever's going on, because these food companies are businesses too, right? And most of the time, what they care about is the money and not necessarily your health, right? So I want to be extra cautious about foods that, let's say, are vegan, or keto, or whatever keyword they're putting on there, because most of the time they have so many chemicals for it to represent whatever food they're trying to imitate, or for it to actually taste good, that is doing you more harm than good. Okay? Because oftentimes the preservatives and the chemicals that they're putting in there disrupts our gut. Number one, it is right now December, in the middle of colds and flu season, COVID season, RSV season. One of the main things that we can do long term to protect our health, to keep our immune system nice and strong, is to take care of our gut health, right? Our immune system, the majority of it, over 50% of it, lives in our gut. So if you are proactively making sure that your gut is in good shape, then your immune system is going to be able to better handle whatever bugs come your way, because it's not like you are like germ repellent, but your body is stronger to be able to fight these things off. Now, where am I going with this? these foods that you might be buying because you think it's better for you are actually destroying your gut. They're really having an impact on your gut. So here you are thinking that you're eating better for your health, but essentially you're just causing this ridiculous cascade of health issues, because not only are you probably not getting the nutrition and the minerals and the vitamins and all that you need from these fake foods, now you're also destroying your gut along with it, which is going to impact your immune system, which you're going to get whatever cold there is out there. So is this cascading domino effect of situations that we have going on. And I'll give you an example that I wrote in the story where I had been working with a client for 6 months, and all of a sudden she had a really bad eczema breakout. Now, in these 6 months, I didn't even know she had eczema. And she was like this in our meeting. It was uncomfortable and heartbreaking to watch her. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I have an eczema breakout. And I was like, really? I didn't even know you had eczema. And she's like, yeah, I haven't had a breakout in so long. And eczema is an autoimmune condition, right? It's a response to your gut being in bad shape. But we have been working together for 6 months already, and she was doing so great. And I was like, okay, well, what did you change in your food? It must be something that you have been eating that is causing this kind of reaction. And she's like, no, I haven't been eating anything new. I've been eating the same things. And then I was like, okay, well, let's take a look at your food journal and see what's going on, because there must be something that's going on. So we started going through her food journal, and then it clicked, because it's true. I was seeing the same thing, like egg sandwiches or whatever she was eating, right? It was just kind of repetitive already from 6 months of watching what she was eating. And then she was like, oh, I remember now. She goes, those eggs in that meal are just eggs, not real eggs. The just eggs, vegan eggs. So we looked up the ingredients, and lo and behold, it had so many gut disrupting ingredients in there that it caused such a fast and violent reaction in her body. All right. And first, it means that her gut needed more repair, right? But it completely inhibited her. So I was like, okay, why did you switch from real eggs to just eggs? And she goes, oh, because I assumed it was healthier because it's vegan. All right. And I was like, okay, well, has your doctor told you otherwise? Do you need to caution? You've been eating eggs, real eggs for 6 months now, and you've been just fine. She's like, oh, I just hear that, eggs are high in cholesterol, so I should lower that. All right. Check in with yourself. Yes, eggs have a lot of cholesterol. They also have a lot of vitamins and minerals and really important stuff, especially when they're pasture raised, good quality eggs that you're not going to get from just eggs or things like that. And most of the time, it's not the cholesterol in the eggs that's causing issues. If you do have it, it's most likely other things that is going on. Maybe it's a lot of other processed foods that has a lot higher saturated fat and things like that. So everybody's situation is different, but we really want to be mindful as to why we're switching these things out. What's the intention behind it? Is it just because of marketing? Is it just because we really need to? What kind of effect is it having in our body? I have a family member who's vegan, and anytime I eat vegan meals with fake cheese and things like that, I am bloated as a balloon. Literally, I can fly away because I am so freaking bloated. And nice quality cheese does not do that to me. I am just fine. So when you're switching these things out, I see a lot of people go and order like vegan burgers, Beyond Meat burgers, and things like that. And the reasoning, the intention is because it is assumed that it's healthier. Now, with any kind of food, we have to be mindful of the quality, because if it's regular conventional beef, yeah, it's also going to have an effect on our health. Okay. But if it's also a meat that's created in a lab, it's also going to have effects on our health. So it's really important whenever anybody reaches out to me for advice on any kind of food, I always ask, what's the intention behind this food? Because I think it's important to know. Is it for a treat? Is it because you're going to eat it all the time? Is it because there's just, you can tell a lot with what is the intention behind a food. And you can also save yourself a lot of stress. Because if you know the intention, then if you're eating a donut and you know what the intention behind eating that donut is, and then it is what it is. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I should have eaten a donut. I cheated on my diet. Blah, 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 blah. All of that is not going to happen. You're just going to be okay with it, because it's like, okay, I'm getting this fresh donut. It's freaking delicious. And I enjoyed it so much. And now I'm going to move on. And that was the intention of the donut. Okay. So I really, really, really encourage you to, number one, if you're going to switch things out, even if it's for the better or whatever the reason is, what is the intention behind it? Number two, what's the quality of it? Whether it's vegan, whether it's regular, whether it's keto, because keto also has a lot of fake sugars and ingredients inside to have it taste good. Whatever it is, what's the intention behind it? I had a client who had everything keto in her house. Like everything was keto this, keto that, keto that, keto that, keto that. And I was like, what's the reason behind it? What's the intention behind it? And she's like, oh, they just say keto is healthier. Again. And she was so bloated. She was so bloated. And she was so uncomfortable all the time. Of course, if you feel like bloom. So when she stopped and she just started eating regular old food that wasn't keto, she felt so much better and she wasn't bloated anymore. And she actually freaking lost weight because her body got to reduce that inflammation. Oftentimes your body is just hanging on to a lot of inflammation. It's just surviving on the inside. It's trying to clean up the hot mess that you put in there. And it's all inflamed and it can't do anything else because it's trying to clean up. If you're consistently cleaning your house because people are always making it dirty in and out, then you don't have time for other things. You don't have time to sit down and relax. You don't have time to cook yourself a good meal because you are cleaning 24/7. And this is the same thing that's happening to your body. And then you burn out. You're exhausted and you pass out because you're tired of cleaning. Your body passes out and is tired of cleaning too. So always read the ingredients, always be reading the ingredients, always be paying attention to the quality of what you're choosing, and always, quality? Oh, and always check in with what's the intention, amongst many other things. But at least these three things will be a checkpoint before you just blindly go for these kinds of products that your intention is good because you're trying to do something better for yourself. But I want you to think deeper than that. It can't just be, oh, this is healthier. That cannot be the main intention. Oh, this is healthy. Why? Is it really healthy? Who said? Is it because the marketing told you it was? Or is it because you did some sort of research and you actually know that it is? Okay, so don't just go by the marketing. Don't just go blindly. And now, especially that we're adults. Oftentimes the habit that we have is picking products that are familiar from childhood, from what we saw in our family members' houses and all these things. So I would also challenge you with taking a pause and looking to see if these products that you were used to having at home, if you were used to seeing in your family member's house, and you yourself might even have purchased in the past before your awareness was higher, is it still aligned with what your goals are and what you want to be putting in your body? And I still do this, okay? I still do this. I blindly grab things and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to love this. This used to work for me. I haven't had this in a long time. And then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to look at this. And it just so happens that it's no longer aligned with my health goals, my wellness journey. And I find another product that is. All right. So put those suggestions into action and see how they feel for you, and really check in with yourself and see how they're making you feel when you make these product switches and you have a lot more intentionality with why you are choosing to eat these things, the products that you're choosing, and looking at the quality of them, and then seeing if it has any correlation with your body. Because my client, it did not connect with her that this Just Egg product completely broke out her entire body in eczema. It just did not click. And that's another issue too. We just think like, oh, we got a flare up. It came out of nowhere. I can promise you it did not come out of nowhere most of the time. There is something there. And if we're not aware of how interconnected what we're eating is to our gut and the rest of our body, then it will totally bypass us. And if she goes to the doctor, a general, regular doctor, what are they going to do? Give her cream for it. You just get a cream. Rub this so it feels better. Yes, it'll bring you temporary relief of the itching and the burning and all of that, but it's not going to solve the root cause of the problem, which was this Just Eggs that she was eating. Now she doesn't need the cream anymore because it actually went away. So oftentimes we're just spot treating these things, but we're not going to the root cause. And then guess what happens? If you keep eating in this way and things keep messing up your gut in this way, it only gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And it'll take longer and longer and longer and longer to repair your gut. And then to repair whatever else comes from that. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I am Naomi, food and health coach. If you're interested in this kind of information, if you're interested in digging deeper into what you are feeling, if you have no idea how to build those connections into something that you're eating is causing all of these symptoms and effects in your body, and you really want to get more intimate with yourself, more curious, learn about the quality and the intentionality about food, I 100% invite you to book a consultation so we can talk and see if you're a good fit for my Get Your Sass Back one-on-one food and health coaching program. Okay, it is super important to learn about ourselves in this way, to learn about food in this way. It really has a lifetime of a payoff when you start learning these things about yourself and about how to read and analyze food products. All right. So I really, really, really invite you to come and book a consultation. And if you sign up before December 23rd, 2022, you will also take part in my 6 live basic and simple cooking classes that are going to be starting in January for absolutely free. Okay. It's 6 classes, which we will go through how to set up your kitchen, your pantry, your refrigerator, carbs, protein, quick snacks, a stew or a soup that will all build such a great baseline for you. And I'm only doing it once next year. It's 6 of them. So it's an amazing value, on top of the fact that we would be one-on-one coaching and working on your health and wellness goals that you want to build and work in this mindful perspective on. All right. So if you really are interested, if you really want to have a conversation, the link is in my bio, and I cannot wait to talk to you. I'll see you soon.